It's Stephen Bedard, and I'm here with the final four of the 10 Commandments to be a disability-friendly church. Number 7 is to develop a theology of disability. Now, when I was studying at McMaster and doing my MDiv, I never took any courses on disability theology, and I don't remember if we ever dealt specifically with disabilities. I'm so thankful that now there is a lot more work in that area, and there have been courses taught on that at McMaster. But even when I was studying there, we were at least taught how to think theologically, and that has been something that was extremely helpful for me, both as a pastor and as a parent of children with disabilities, to be able to reflect on what it means to be in the image of God, of what it means to be a part of the body of Christ, trying to wrestle with what seems to be Jesus healing every person with a disability that he encounters in the Gospels. And these are reflections that are important, not just for pastors, but for lay leaders and really everyone in the church, to try to understand, do we look theologically at people with disabilities as someone to fix, or do we see them as integral and valuable for the church just the way they are now? These are important things for us to be thinking about. Number 8 is about creating a safe environment for people with disabilities. This is in reference to both physical safety, so we want to make sure that our churches are a place where people are comfortable bringing their children, their adult family members, and just being assured that they are not going to experience any harm. But it's not just about physical safety, it's about emotional and spiritual safety as well. We need to provide safe places where people are not going to be taken advantage of, they're not going to be looked down upon, and they are going to be fully welcomed. The 9th commandment is never to make an assumption about what a person with a disability can or cannot do. If you were to meet my son, Logan, you would probably think, just from first meeting him, that he was pretty low functioning, that he was not really able to communicate because he wouldn't speak to you. He would make some funny sounds. He might use some phrases from movies, and that's about it. And you would think, this person really doesn't have a high intellect at all. And yet you would be mistaken. Just this past year, during the COVID-19 pandemic, we weren't able to see our children because they're in another city in a group home, and we just haven't been able to see them. But I remembered that my son was able to read. He can read books, and I knew that he was able to do that. I also knew that he was able to type things out. He can do pretty complex Google and YouTube searches. And so I reasoned that with those skills, he should be able to do email. And so we worked it out with the group home, and sure enough, we started emailing each other. And during this pandemic, for the first time in my life, and my son is just turning 20, so he is not a little kid, for the first time in our life, we have been able to have actual conversations where I can ask him questions and he will answer me, and he can ask me questions and I can answer him. And that's all because we didn't make an assumption just based on what we could see or hear, but rather we opened opportunities for him. And all people with disabilities have gifts and abilities that we just don't see. So don't assume, just don't make those assumptions. And this might be, number 10, might be one of the most important commandments for us to become a disability-friendly church. And that is, it's okay to make mistakes, but it's not okay to try. And what I mean by that is, we're always going to say or do the wrong thing. People are always asking, what are you supposed to say? Is it an autistic person, a person with autism? And if you ask someone, you might get different answers to that question. There's all kinds of things that we are afraid of, that we're going to make some kind of mistake, we're going to do the wrong thing, we're going to look at them the wrong way. And you know what? You're going to make mistakes because everyone is different and everyone has different expectations. But you have to at least try. And I'll tell you, as a parent of 2 children with disabilities, just seeing that people care, that they want to learn, that they want to be better, that makes up for anything they might do or say that isn't quite right. There is grace, and we need to remember that. Thank you so much for watching these videos and taking the time to learn how to become a disability-friendly church. God bless you.